Good morning. Happy New Year. It is umbraCoffee for the first time in 2024. And today I'm joined by Emma and Steffie. Hey, Emma and Steffie.
Hey, Callum.
Hello. How are you both doing? Happy New Year.
Thanks.
You too?
Yeah. Doing good. Steffie's been skiing, so she's probably...
Skiing. I heard. Steffie, where have you been? What have you been up to?
We've been to Norway, where it was minus 21 degrees.
Ooh. Oh,
That was good. It was a good trip.
That sounds cold. I was talking to Lars Erik the other day, and he said he's sick of shoveling snow in Norway now to get out of his house and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's good. At least it was. At least you had snow. There's nothing worse than going skiing and it being
Very true.
Fantastic. Emma, what have you been up to? You've been in the UK this week.
So I'm just back from the annual developer relations retreat. So myself, Lucy, Lottie, Alan, and Sebastian, and we did have special guest Matt Brailsford. Went to the Peak District. No, wait, I got that wrong. Barnsley. Went to Barnsley. We had a house that was lovely, which is good because we didn't leave it because we did nothing but talk, work.
Nice. Eat.
And 1 hour of Tas Master. That was it. Watching, not doing.
Not doing. I think Tas Master would be an excellent Codegarden edition. I said this to Lottie after.
Callum.
Does it not translate? Oh no!
You are. No, it does. You are preaching to the converted. And Steffie's like, what? So Tas Master is a show where they get funny people to do silly tasks.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is a loose outline, but it absolutely works. And because it's been franchised and you've got Tas Master Norway, Denmark, America, you could get away with it. But we did speak to some of the people on the bingo team about this, and they appeared to throw the idea straight out. So
oh dear.
Yeah, CG Rumors, no Tas Master.
Oh dear, we're already on the CG Rumors. Yeah, I love Tas Master. Fantastic show, hilarious. Probably watch it like at least once a week at the moment.
So much. Yeah, you would love it. You would really like it.
It's very fun. Anyway, oh, that's good. I heard, Emma, that you were in charge. I heard that you were in charge of planning your dev retreat and that you over-catered and there was too much alcohol considering only 2 people were actually drinking. And
you heard right. When you get a non-drinker to order the alcohol, it can go one way or the other. And it went that way. And the food, it was absurd, but you know.
Who was in charge of cooking? You didn't make Lucy cook all week, did you?
Cooking is a team building exercise, in my opinion. And we tried to exclude Lucy from the cooking as far as possible. I made it a mission because Lucy is responsible for Codegarden, food, all the catering. I was trying to keep her from doing anything, but then I kind of lost momentum and let her cook after a while. Let her prep things after a while. Yeah. But if you wanted to know which one of us you should take on a retreat, because they're really helpful, useful, and resourceful, it's actually Sebastian.
Yeah.
You're not surprised.
I'm quite surprised by that.
I'll take Lottie. And if you want an appropriate amount of
Lottie, if you're listening here,
don't take me. But Seb's an all-rounder. So.
Oh, very good to know. Very good to know. Well, we've got a lot to talk about, and I know Steffie's short on time, so let's dive right in. But first, hey to everybody in the chat. Like Scott's telling us that it's 30 degrees in Australia right now, which is a shame because it's cold and windy here. We've got Lars complaining that he's got sludge now instead of snow, and lots of other friendly people. Lucy saying she's very cold as well. So hello everyone. We wanted to talk about Codegarden today because was it last week, the week before, you had your winter keynote where some details of Codegarden revealed and tickets went on sale. Steffie, do you want to tell us all about it?
Yes. So last Tuesday we had our launch of our tickets alongside our version 1 of the program. So we launched 16 speakers already. So go check them out. Just like last year, we really want to use the website, keeping that up to date constantly. So don't be surprised to see more speakers without us immediately announcing it on social media. So keep an eye on the website is step number 1. And then I gave a reminder as well about the call for speakers. Currently, we're at around 74 sessions submitted. We'd love to double that.
Yeah.
That's last year we had 130. So we'll talk a little bit more about that and how to submit a great talk. I'm going to talk a little bit about the main differences of what you can expect compared to last year. So we took, as always, all your feedback to heart. A fun small thing we'll improve is the what's it called, the badges.
Yep.
The
badges.
No pointy edges.
Edges this year. So that's gonna be a good one. So no more paper cuts, people looking like they were attacked by their cats. A big change compared to last year is that we are going back to fully hybrid. So instead of just having a free online program, we'll have a paid online program as well, and all talks will be recorded. So that means, if you go to the ticket page, you see a very nice comparison. So you can really see what is the best fit for you. If you buy the full online or the in-person experience, that means you get access to all the talks right away. If you decide, I'm going to go for the free online this year, then we are putting all the talks online on YouTube in September. So you will also be able to see them all, but you just have to wait for 3 months.
Fantastic. So it's basically the HQ sessions that you get in the free ticket.
Correct. And it will be very similar this year. Yeah.
Awesome.
Unless you're happy to wait.
Unless you're happy to wait. Exactly. Another big change is when you go into our call for speakers, you'll see that we have not just 30-minute sessions, but you can actually choose if you want to do a 30-minute session or a 1-hour session. And we did that because one of the biggest feedback was some people want to be able to dive in deeper, and they need time to do that. So you tell us how long you need, and then the reviewing board, which is a very diverse, both tech, non-tech, a team of 5 people. We will then review and see, okay, how can we make a program out of this? It's the first time we're doing it like this. Yeah,
I love this. I'm one of the people who's given that feedback before, that 30 minutes is all a bit too short, and an hour is perfect if you want to go really, really deep into a topic. An hour is a long time to talk as well, so you do have to be quite prepared. I was going to ask a question there. If someone doesn't know, if someone has a talk that could work well as both a long and a short talk, is that an option? Can you let the board decide?
Yes, definitely. And write it in notes. Because that's really nice for the reviewing board when we're seeing we actually have a lack of a 30-minute slot or a 1-hour slot, then we can be flexible like that. So let us know.
A topic that can be a bit lighter and friendlier, or a bit heavier and more technical, and you decide whether you want a super technical talk on that topic or a lighter talk on that topic if you've already got.
And we will also reach out when we will go through the topics. We will also see actually we would love to hear more about this. And then we'll reach out to the speaker and say, do you have a 1-hour talk in you? Yeah. And the other way around as well, where we see, okay, now we have the 1-hour talks that we want. Are you interested in reducing it to 30 minutes? So we'll also be reaching out.
Carl's getting way ahead of himself, but he asked about lightning sessions. So let's do that.
Yes. So last year we experimented a bit with lightning sessions at Codegarden, where you could sign up on the spot. We had one signing up on the spot. So instead of that, we've changed the format a bit. And what we would love to see here is first-time speakers. We want this to be what's it called?
The bridge.
Yeah.
Gateway drug.
Yeah, the gateway to becoming a full-on Codegarden speaker. So it's only a 10-minute talk. There's a form in there where you can apply, and maybe a bit of a behind-the-scenes information is we'll be going through these together with our speaker coach Adam. So Adam Montanen is going to join us again as our go-to speaker coach for Codegarden, and we've actually made it mandatory this year to at least have one session with him. So that we can actually. Sorry?
I thought it was mandatory last time as well.
It was, but it wasn't. We didn't specifically put it like that in the call for speakers.
I think it was mandatory for you, Callum.
That's
understandable. Probably wouldn't do it. We
That's
just, it was a
understandable.
Callum clause, wasn't it?
No,
I did,
no,
I did
it
3
was.
sessions with Adam. It was good.
We put it in the welcome email, but now we've put it in the application.
That's good.
So that if you're applying, you're agreeing to these terms, sort of thing.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, Adam's someone that you've worked with for a number of years, Steffi, on events.
Yes,
in and around
I've worked
Burstow.
with him. Yeah, we go way back, all the way back to 2014. He was my teacher, and then I did an internship with him, and then we started TEDx Odense here in Denmark. So he's been training TEDx speakers since 2014. And so he's the perfect speaker coach
he's
for
a
us
great
at
coach,
Codegarden.
and I know that you had a good experience with him last year, Callum, and also Carl in the chat is saying so too, and that was overwhelmingly the response. And what I loved about working with Adam is I didn't do the build-up sessions because I didn't actually have a talk at Codegarden.
You had the keynote.
I had the keynote, but that doesn't count. And, but he stands in your talk. He's there. He's somebody to make eye contact with as well. If he can be there, he's there.
He was super supportive to everybody, and for those that wanted to, go up to the venue the day before, and I think he went up with with some speakers the day before, showed them around, helped them get familiar with their stage, that sort of thing. It just overall a really good confidence booster to have someone like that there supporting you. And
we're doing that. We're doing
really
that exact thing again, and we've made some improvements here and there, but expect the same and more.
Can I just say as well, he's got a fantastic office. So if you're on a call with him, he's got like owls and lights and all kinds of stuff on the wall behind us. Yeah.
It's actually just at his home, but yes.
Is it as good as the meeting rooms here at HQ? Has he got weird pictures?
I think it's better. Okay, so lightning talks, that's 10-minute sessions, kind of designed more for first-time speakers, people that just want to share something in a much friendlier, lower pressure environment. And you still get the coaching from Adam.
Exactly. Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll review that, and we'll very quickly set up a first talk where we have the hidden agenda to see, maybe we can actually get them to submit a full talk, because sometimes that's just when you need that encouragement, that push in the back. So that's also for us to see, do you want to do a lightning stage, or could we upgrade you?
I was speaking to someone yesterday who was saying their colleague was a great speaker, really want them to talk at more events, but maybe needs a way of getting into, warming up, building up to it. This sounds like a fantastic way. Lower pressure, maybe.
Bit more hand holding.
Yeah, exactly. And you're still in a big conference, still in a big environment, but maybe not the pressure of preparing a 60-minute talk, which is even for an experienced speaker quite a feat.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to say that somebody in the chat, Teco Scott, was saying that they've just got their submission done, and it will be their first talk to a technical audience and the first Codegarden. And it reminded me that we do want first-time speakers on the big stages too.
Yes.
Yeah. Like lightning talks, amazing. It's a great way for us all to get to know each other as well, and for people to really see what a friendly and inclusive space it is and what a great audience. But don't let it put you off that there's that on-ramp. Maybe you want to go big stage, 1 hour long. We support that too.
Yes.
We'll get you there.
Very much.
Yeah.
And so just quickly, key deadlines here. The call for speakers for Codegarden ends when?
The 2nd of February. That's next Friday.
Okay. And what time? Because people love to leave it to 5 minutes before. I've got it
right.
It's 11:59 p.m. CET. So if you're in the UK, that's 10:59. If you're in the US, that's your tea time at the end of the day. So just be mindful of that. But maybe set yourself a calendar reminder for the 1st of February, just to be
just in case you need to get some help or have some questions.
Yeah, and the lightning talks has got a longer deadline, haven't they? People can think a bit more. 5th of March, it says here.
Correct. Yeah, exactly.
Lovely.
Because we can always add. We will have a slot for the lightning stages, and we can always add in there. Yeah.
Carl is of course saying if you've done a talk at a meetup, this is a great way to elevate that. Or equally, if you get accepted to speak and you're a bit scared, do the talk at a meetup first. Lovely, friendly group of local people that I guess better than a room full of random people at Codegarden. Random friendly people, though.
Definitely. And if you want to read someone's first time experience as a speaker, if you just go to the website, Callum, and you go to call for speakers. Yeah. And then if you go a little bit, there we have Pritesh has a blog post there. That was a really great read through of how it's like, how to prepare yourself and how he did it. So have a look at that when you're in doubt of applying, or you have just applied like
10 years ago.
Yeah. And then you can read through what the experience could be like for you.
Awesome.
Yes. Let me see what else is new. You asked a bit about first timers. Last year we did we came back with the UBuddy program, but we placed it wrong in the calendar. Not wrong in the program, but we found a better spot for it now. So because it was before the keynote, not a lot of people attended. So what we're doing now is we're putting it after the keynote. Then Emma can shout a bit more about it during the keynote, and hopefully more people will then attend the UBuddy session. So for those who don't know what it is, it's where we have first timers paired up with a buddy that has been at Codegarden before. So they can really introduce you to a lot of people, tell you about what to expect, and that you have a person you can go to when you're feeling
like you can spot them across the room, go stand with them, like just for that quiet time when you don't know what to do and you're expected maybe to socialize.
Exactly.
UBuddy's there.
Yeah, and then
it can be scary walking into a room of that size, 1,000 people, and going, I don't know anyone here. Like, I don't know who to talk to.
And another good way, or another good thing to do as a first timer is check out our social activities. They're not all on there yet. I think the only thing we have confirmed is the bike tour with our CTO Philip. But that's something that and the pre-party, and then no, it's not on there yet. So we have the pre-party and the dinner party, and soon we'll have the bike ride with Philip. And good to know that is on Tuesday in the morning. So book your flights accordingly if you want to join that. We'll also have paddle, however you want to pronounce that, both on Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning and Thursday morning. We'll have a running tour as well. So that's also a good thing to join if you're a first timer.
Yeah, that's awesome. We booked our team's flights yesterday, so we've got at least some people coming. We're still sorting a few of them out, but we're good. Can't wait.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
I think I'll be there too.
Yeah.
If you don't have your tickets yet, I'm going through my checklist here. If you don't have your tickets yet, if you go to the ticket page, you'll see that we have something called diversity tickets as well. I just want to highlight that instead of launching that on a random day closer to the event, we thought, no, we're going to launch that together with our tickets, because we want, we really want there to be an option for underrepresented groups to join free of charge. So have a look at that and apply. We always give 10 tickets away. And now, because we have the paid one as well, we'll do 10 tickets for in-person and 10 tickets for the fully hybrid one.
Well, that's
so
great.
have a read through.
You mentioned free ticket or free Codegarden, but it's just the ticket to the event, right? To be clear,
it's
not everything else around it. But that's great that if someone can't get their employer or can't pay themselves to come to Codegarden in person, they can still attend virtually if they're accepted.
Exactly.
The ticket.
Yeah.
All attendees for the diversity ticket have an ordinary ticket. That's the other thing to note.
Yeah.
Like, you're never going to show up and have like a lanyard that says diversity ticket holder. Precisely. Like, the only people that need to know that it's diversity ticket and why are those that are assigning it. And we want to really make it clear that these are any underrepresented groups in tech. So if you consider yourself to be from one, we'd love to hear from you. And each year we put out 10. I don't think we always manage to give the 10 away. That's the other thing. You won't have like sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But last year we had 12. 2. Oh, we had we had 2 left over. Yeah. So
it's something people should just share this around with colleagues or someone that's maybe maybe not had the same opportunities to go before, turn them around, and it will be reviewed, of course. I see it. It calls out. It's not limited to, it includes but not limited to women, individuals, people of color, LGBTQIA plus, health conditions, other impairments. You mentioned in the winter keynote, Steffie, that like neurodiversity is a big thing that you're trying to focus on as well. Of course, a lot of people in tech are neurodiverse anyway, so that might be quite a broad group. But even still, there's a big push by Umbraco to improve the general diversity of the community, and all efforts help with that. So this is awesome.
Exactly.
Share the link around. We'll of course have it down below as well. Yeah,
and we're actually working very closely with our DEI team, DEI community team on that. This was a collab with them to make sure that we do it right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And of course, you're just to further back up that diversity pledge, you've got your diversity pledge plastered all over the website, and kind of every page you look at, it's there. And there is a full page, I think, that highlights your diversity inclusion policy as well.
You can see it on the speaker page. So speaker profiles have their pronouns when they shared with us that they're okay with sharing that. So we're and if you see any other things that we can do, you have my email, right?
Sure, let's put it out on YouTube. It's fine. I'm sure it's somewhere. I think in fact,
I'm sure you can find a way to me.
On the code of conduct page on the website for people to reach.
And events at. That's me. Events at umbraco.com. Yeah. That's me.
Easy.
Yeah. I think I've gone through like the biggest changes and the biggest stuff that worked, and we will repeat.
Yeah. Same as last year.
It's time for my rumor. Can I
same as last year with the two venues, right? Where the talks are in the other space. That's cool. Yeah, go on. We've had a rumor in that it's not going to be Tas Master or whatever. But perhaps, Steffie, do you want to drop some more?
So Kim forwarded me a first bill, because he's very involved in the Thursday evening show, and I'm not going to say what's on the bill, but I'll just say that there will be more horns than last year.
More horns than last year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of horns last year.
No, there was not a lot of horns last year. There could have been more horns. And that was one of the feedback. There should be more horns. So we've ordered more horns.
We read the feedback.
I thought there was horns with Kim's procession.
No, there was just a saxophone player.
Oh, maybe just a sax player. Okay. Fair play.
Great,
well, more horns, maybe.
Hashtag more horns.
Hashtag more horns. Hashtag more horns.
That's what I have for now.
Very good. Very, very good. Well, I understand, Steffie, you might need to run at some point. So whenever you do, just please escape. But it's been awesome to talk with you. I'm looking forward to Codegarden. Like I said, is Emma, do you have anything in particular that you're looking forward to?
I'm going to say goodbye to Steffie. That's not the thing I'm looking forward to. Bye, Steffie. Bye. I'm looking forward to a ton of stuff. I'm looking forward to not speaking again this year. I never speak.
Keynote. You're doing the keynote.
If you're doing the keynote, it doesn't count. It's still one of the most important sessions of the entire event.
The keynote, well, yeah, maybe. I never like to build it up too much. So I'm really looking forward to having everyone all together. That's another it's another opportunity for us all to be in one place. But Spark is coming too. And while we're talking about CFPs, we've only got what's the date today? I don't know what the date is.
It is the 26th of January, and Umbraco Spark has their CFP closing on the 31st of January.
Yeah, so there's a few days for that as well. So if we want to get people all together, another really good opportunity. And if you want to apply to Codegarden, apply to Spark as well. Spark is a great place to give a talk before you give a Codegarden talk, or just go soak up the atmosphere. That's the other thing. Tickets are selling really well. Get a ticket before you can't get a ticket.
I get an email every time a ticket gets bought for Spark.
Oh, wow.
So it's been filling my inbox up quite nicely.
Yeah. So, but sorry to tangent you. It's not my show. It's your show, Callum.
It's our show. It's everyone's show.
Everyone's show. Today it's mine as well. But yeah, super looking forward to a bunch of things. I think that the talk lineup is incredibly strong already. And I know that we've got a few names that aren't out yet as well, because there are some people I've been speaking to in the background, or Philip's been speaking to, or Steffie's been speaking to. So look forward to the next wave of speakers being announced.
There was some excitement when I shared this earlier. Lars Erik was saying Mark Seaman is an epic win to have at the conference. Also, Felina, I saw her speak at Duke Fest a few years back, and again, excellent speaker, incredibly smart person.
Oh my gosh,
yeah. So that is going to sure to be an epic session, and of course some crowd favorites from previous years. Jason Waddiker's coming back, and Carla's going to be doing the welcome again. Good.
Yeah, Carla's had the biggest cultural impact on the Umbraco ecosystem in the last year, because she introduced everybody to the idea that you should have a standing ovation when you go on stage. And I remember beforehand her asking, is this going to be all right? Like, if I ask, do you think it's okay to do this? Like, you got the right idea in the right crowd. And then everywhere I've been since, Carla's been there if she hasn't been there, because people have been doing the standing ovation. And it's just a great place to start. And as a speaker, walking on stage to that kind
gives you a good feeling, yeah.
It's amazing, because we're a sincere bunch as well. It's just proof that we want people to succeed. So
yeah, completely. I was gonna, maybe this is another CG rumor, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Go for
Lottie's session is listed as hackathon. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Cool. So last year we achieved the impossible, and we got people to come to a hackathon on the Friday morning. The reason it's impossible is the party on Thursday night usually is open late, and it's quite difficult to leave because it's fun. And I say that as a non-drinker. Like, it's just a great environment and atmosphere, and there's entertainment until like all the way into the small hours. So Friday morning has historically been a bit of a quiet time with a slow start, and this year we just thought, nope, let's not do a slow start, let's get everybody up early. And the hackathon was huge. It was 30-40 people, and it grew throughout the day because people had their laptops. We will be doing the same thing. I don't know if we'll use the same space, because it was a big open space, although that worked quite nicely. But with Bellissima coming and it just being a great year of releases and changes in Umbraco, the more time we spend physically working together, the better. So we will be doing that. And it will be hosted by Lottie Pitcher.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. Fantastic. Oh, that's good. That's again something else to look forward to. Codegarden's not just all about tech talks. There's obviously, community-focused talks and personal skills talks and a whole bunch of other stuff, or just the hallway track, the chat, the networking. That's kind of what I go for.
It mustn't be undersold, that hallway track, because people really, and somebody in the chat here said it's worth speaking to speakers. I think that's the other thing. People who are accepted as speakers are just like you and me. Go out and talk to them. Make sure you have that opportunity to ask them the question you've been dying to, or to get to know them. The speakers always come away saying what a lovely environment it was, from other worlds, people from, different tech communities. They're like, oh, this was lovely. I'd love a reason to return. So make sure that you do, as an attendee, go and speak to the speakers. For sure.
Yeah. It's actually, I don't like taking questions in talks. It's a bit annoying, and a lot of speakers don't know how to answer questions properly. Either there's like an etiquette at conferences. But at the same time, I always say, come up and have a chat afterwards. Like, let's talk. Yes. It's nice when a few people come up and say, oh, that was great. I've done this.
It shows your talk has landed, and that's really important, because you can go to a conference and get no feedback. But those chats are super important for speakers too.
Yeah. So let's talk about what it takes to become a speaker. So you've already discussed how there's so many different ways to get involved in Codegarden, whether it's the lightning talks, 10-minute sessions where there's perhaps a little bit less pressure on you, or you've got 30 or 60-minute sessions. There's obviously a really supportive team behind this with Adam and a coach that's going to work you through preparing a talk and to that very moment you get on stage. So what does it take to get accepted to speak at Codegarden?
It's a really good question. So I get to review the talks along with others for Codegarden, but it's not the only festival that I review talks for. I also review talks for lead developer once or twice a year, if they ask me. So I'm exposed to lots and lots of different technical talks and essential skills talks and all sorts of things. And once upon a time, I would have advised people to really make their abstract and their description very, what's the word? Good, very like entertaining, zingy. You know, I had all these tips like put a question in the title, promise people something. But now with the onset of large language models,
yeah,
I mean, it's harder to differentiate between what will be a good talk and what will just be something that's gone through ChatGPT. So I was thinking about this before this morning, and I realized that the key thing I can tell anybody is that if you have something you want to talk about, it's because you're passionate about it, it's because you know about it. We take for granted when we get a talk submission, this person knows what they're on about. So what it's our job to do is work out if they can communicate that to an audience. And step number one is communicating that to your reviewing board. So if I wanted to talk about the value of community, let's say that would be the next talk I submit. If I write 3 lines about what my talk is going to entail, thinking, well, they know who I am and obviously I know my stuff, that's not going anywhere. Like that's the beginning of a conversation. So really making sure that I say, I'm going to say A, B, and C, and people are going to go away with D, E, and F. And doing that in a way that is clear is key. Because now I can be like, ChatGPT, write me a talk about community, give me some takeaways. We can still tell. Like, are you attached to your content? Do you know what you want to say? And do you know why it should be used?
I'm going to drag your inner English teacher out here, Emma. And
Cool.
the phrase that we were told when I was doing English was show, not tell. And so like you basically have to prove in your words and your language why you're the most passionate about this topic, why you're the person to deliver this topic, rather than saying, I've got 50 years experience doing this, I'm going to tell you about X and Y. It does not fly, it doesn't cut it. You want those proposals that really stand out are the ones that, well, it's a sales pitch about why you're the person to attend the talk. I would also add, you're not writing this for the reviewer. You're actually writing this for the attendee. So put yourself in the shoes of an attendee at a conference, you pull up the schedule, you're looking at what talk you want to go to next. You're going to see these abstracts, and these abstracts are basically to decide, do I want to go to this session or not? You've got to make sure that you're kind of saying what someone's going to get out of it, make it sound like an exciting topic, something that you're going to do a good job of telling your story about. You don't have to be the industry expert on something. As I'll show you some examples in a second of cases where I'm certainly not the industry expert on some things, but I'm still talking about them. You just have to be passionate, and I think that's the most important thing to get across.
Yeah, I agree. It's about putting yourself in your audience's shoes. When you go to a conference, you see a talk on content modeling, and you're like, I don't know, is this relevant? And then you read the abstract, and if it speaks to you and it mentions a few things that you were wondering about or you wanted to know, then you will go. But it's rare that you'll go, oh, this talk is being done by this person, I'm going to go. So it's not often the personality that's going to sell. Yeah,
I know there's in the past, let's say, been criticism or suggestion that certain people will be, more likely to be accepted, blah, 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 because they're maybe, let's say the Kellers of the world, for example. Everyone wants to hear a Lee or a Matt or a Kevin Jump talk because they're the Umbraco, like, package gods in that sense. But it's absolutely not about that. It's probably the fact that these people have a bit more experience in expressing themselves on a public stage that gives them that slight advantage, but that doesn't have to be the case. If you know the same formula or the tips that they're basically following, communicating that passion, you absolutely don't have to consider yourself as being a disadvantage to anyone else.
And it's not that you would never go to a talk by any of those 3 legends and, things could go wrong, or they might have not had the most brilliant experience, or but the talk will always be good because they've always got a reason for doing it. It's a service. You know why you're there. They don't have to be like whizzy and incredible and the AV might fail, but they've got something they want to tell you. And that's where a good talk starts. There's something I need to tell people and I want them, that it's going to be of use to them. And that's what makes them brilliant speakers.
I'd actually say as well, some of my favorite talks are where someone has decided this topic sounds interesting and something I'd like to talk about, but they've then used the preparation as an opportunity to go away and learn and share those learnings. Or it's something that they've been working on in work time and they've, again, been learning in recent history. Share that learning experience because it's such a human feeling that everyone in the audience can resonate with. And you're instantly on for a win there because you don't have to convince people of your idea or get people on board. People are already there because they want to hear your experience about something that they're also interested in or have their own experience with and want to see how that compares to
how did you get there. Yeah, the journey is way more interesting than the destination quite often.
There was an infamous conference back in the end of last year that was exposed on social media for having fake or AI generated female
We've got real women at our conference.
Oh, have you?
Just so you know, they're real. Yeah.
Just I've never met that Lottie Pitcher person. I'm not sure if she's
she too good to be true, that one.
Yeah. But the whole premise of that conference was we've got the kind of the tech gods. They had Uncle Bob, they had Scott Hanselman, quite a number of big name speakers, and the whole attraction was that you get to go and you hear talks by these people. And I don't get the selling point there. I don't think it's all about that. It's not about going and seeing big names. It's about different experiences, different opinions and stuff. So
agreed. Okay.
So we can talk about what makes a good CFP, and I'm by no means an expert on this, but I do talk at a lot of events. I've spoken already at 2 events this year so far. I've got 4 coming up in the next 2 weeks. So like I'm speaking a lot. People have asked me before, how do you speak at so many events? And honestly, it's a numbers game. Throw stuff at a wall, see what sticks. You've got to analyze. So I thought I'd lift the lid a little bit on my process in case it helps people. So,
yes, and I would say, Callum, you are an expert at submitting CFPs, not having them accepted, but you do more of it.
I will prove as
you
much.
do more of it than most.
Sessionize, for people that don't know, is the platform that Codegarden is using to gather talk submissions. It's great because you can have a bank of sessions ready to go that you've decided you'd like to submit to a few conferences. So, for example, Umbraco UK Festival uses this. Doog Fest used this last year. We've just got a way of taking that session you submitted, selecting it from your profile, and you've got a whole heap of sessions there, which is cool. So I use Sessionize regularly to submit to loads of conferences. As you'll see, this is my speaker dashboard, and you've got 4 sessions right at the top here. I'm speaking in Sweden and Sydney and Michigan in a couple of weeks. But if you look at DevSum in Sweden again, if you look at the list, these are just the ones that are currently pending review, right?
Wow.
And if we go into sessions, and those are all coming up, go into sessions and maybe into my archive, you'll start to see just how many sessions I've actually got in there and how many have been rejected by the US summit, for example, because it wasn't a good fit. And perfectly fine, but it's a numbers game. You've got to work out which topics work for you and what actually fits. I was going to, it's probably in my archive, I was going to pull up the talk I did at Codegarden previously last year. I'd forgotten what it was called. The Backenders Guide. There we go. Cool. Mm-hmm. So, and just to be clear, I'm by no means a professional speaker here. This is just me sharing what I've done in the past that's been accepted. You can see this talk was submitted to 3 events: Doog Fest, US Fest, and Codegarden. It was unsuccessful in 2, successful in the other. Don't give up if it gets rejected at first. Submit to another. It might be an event where it's good. People often stress about how much you need to write in the description. And like I said before, this is, in my opinion, all about convincing the audience, the potential attendee to the talk, of why they should be at the talk. Yep. So you want a catchy title? ChatGPT is great for catchy titles. You can say, I'm doing a talk about this. I want something in the style of X, and it will come up with something. And it generally be pretty good and snappy. But don't use ChatGPT to write your whole proposal.
I mean, you can try.
It's in here and whatever, but not the whole proposal. I was talking to my colleague this morning. I've got a formula that I follow for every single submission. Maybe this helps others, maybe it doesn't. But we kind of broke it down as this. We have a hook. First paragraph is a hook. And when I say paragraphs, 1 to 2 sentences, because probably someone's on a phone and reading this going, do I want to attend that? And if they see a big wall of text, they go, I'm too hungover to read this. I can't be bothered to read this. So you need a hook, catchy title. And that first line is really what drags people in. So in this talk from Codegarden last year, it was, we've been grappling with AngularJS. It's all about to change again. It's going to bring a heap of changes, and that's all a bit scary. So come to this talk, basically. The next point, the next paragraph is always a headline of what the session actually covers. So you don't want to keep reading. This says, I'm going to cover the key concepts of the new back office, basically. That's the hook. Sorry, that's the headline. And then I go into a bit of detail. This is the show but don't tell thing. You don't want to say, I'm going to have a slide on this, and then on this, and then on this, and then on this. But what you want to say is, we're going to cover these key aspects. You'll get a bit of deeper knowledge on this, and that's cool. And then I call this the battle cry at the end. But again, a motivational sentence.
Battle cry.
that says what someone's going to get out of this. You'll leave feeling confident to tackle whatever lies on the road ahead for JavaScript. So again, just give someone that warm feeling like, yeah, okay, this is somewhere that I can, this is a talk I can attend, and I can feel like I'll learn something. Well, this formula, I'll show you another talk that I'm going to stop doing now, actually, because it's been toured around a fair bit. But if I look in my overview, I'm doing it NDC Sydney, clone yourself with Azure Custom Neural Voice. It is a fun talk. One of those topics I decided actually this was going to be a good idea to go away and learn about this bit of tech. It could be a bit of fun, and I'll do that. And again, this structure is still there. So we've got the hook, which is no one wants to do the dishes, etc. It'd be awesome if we could clone ourselves. The headline, the talk is going to cover your the talk is going to cover Azure Custom Neural Voice, and you'll get a bit started with that, learn a little bit about some of the tech behind it. We'll talk about some of the topics, the key areas that we're going to discuss in that, and again, how that's going to progress. And then that final battle cry, you'll leave with some inspiration and a will to go and give the things I've shown you a try. This formula works for me. It might not work for you, but if you're looking for where do I start for a structure, I think that's probably a good place to start. A hook, a headline, a little bit of detail, show, don't tell, and a motivational line at the end that convinces someone this is the talk for them to attend. And like I say, don't be disheartened if it doesn't work. It's a numbers game ultimately. Sometimes there's just 2 identical talks submitted to a conference, and you've got to close your eyes and pick one. And it's just the way it is. But yeah.
I kind of want to get my teacher's red pen out as well. No, it would be a green pen in this instance.
You're not allowed to use red anymore, are you?
No, you're not supposed to use red. It's disheartening. But also because there's no mistakes. But to really highlight how well that structure communicates what you want to communicate in your talk. And that's the key, really, because the people reading your talk are the first audience, and then the people attend or choosing whether to attend your talk, the next audience. And then if it's filmed, it's everybody that might click on the link in YouTube. Tell us what you want, or show us what you want to tell us, but never assume that the reviewer or the audience know.
Use the notes field on the submission as well to put in a bit of additional detail for the reviewer. So I've often put in there, this is something we've been working on as a team, for the past year, that sort of thing. Gives them a bit of background context to the kinds of stuff you might show. But that description, the abstract, is the sales pitch, and the notes field is really just to help boost it. I often put links to previous talk recordings in there if you've got them, or if you're turning a blog into a talk, great, put the link to the blog, because that again just gives further credence to what you're about to talk about.
Sorry, I dropped out a moment ago, by the way. The Wi-Fi is shoddy, but I've got 2 things that I just wanted to say about this. And the first is that you don't have to write in perfect, beautiful English to have your talk submitted. So our speakers come from all over the world. We're looking for clarity of communication, but that doesn't mean it has to be beautifully written. I used to think that would get my talks over the line, having that background in literature. Oh, I can just write something nice. If your talk is saying nothing, it doesn't get accepted. And that was always my problem. It was about making it known what I really wanted people to take away, taking it from big ideas to, really drilling down.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I wanted to say, I've forgotten, so I'll come back to if I remember.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that sounds good. I was going to talk a little bit quickly about topics and topic generation as well. Yes. There's no point in forcing yourself to talk on a topic just because you want to do a talk. Maybe there is. Maybe it's a way of breaking some barriers and doing your first talk. But you've got to talk about something you're passionate about or interested in. There's no point in me going on stage and doing a talk about Microsoft Excel because it's just dull. I could not get excited about that. But there are things I could get excited about. If you're looking for key things you want to talk about, look at the trends. You mentioned the listener earlier. It's clearly going to be a big focus for Codegarden. It comes out 2 weeks before Codegarden, the new back office. So there's going to be a lot of back office talks. And you've got to decide really if that's something you want to talk about. Don't forget that there will be a lot of other people submitting the same thing. Give your own personal take, your own interesting angle. A lot of people are going to do how I migrated my package from X to Y, or with V7, V8, there was how I upgraded my site from V7 to V8. And as long as you've got a unique angle, submit it. But if you're not too sure of that, maybe think of another topic. Equally, things like AI, ChatGPT focused, GitHub pilot focused talks, there'll be a lot of those too. Don't let that put you off submitting, but just consider, are you passionate enough to really sell that topic? So have a think. I did a bit of a breakdown in our Slack channel the other day of things I think will or won't fly at Codegarden based on what's based on what's already been selected, and also just based on the trends. There's only going to be so many AI talks that can be there, or only going to be so many back office talks that can be there. So I can share those privately with anyone. I don't want to put anyone on my team on blast right now, but
no. I like that.
Topic selections is key, but it's all about your experience ultimately. Share what you're passionate about, not what you think you should be talking about.
And in terms of topic, if you have a topic that you are passionate about and it's not a fit for Codegarden, sometimes it is a fit for one of the others, and that is exactly what your session I showed. Yeah. Your talk was a great fit for Codegarden. It wasn't so much a great fit for US or for DukeFest. Yep. So it's a rejection of the talk. It's not here, not now.
Exactly. Yeah. You can also always, I'd encourage you, if you were really sold on an idea, thought it was awesome, reach out to the organisers if it didn't get accepted. See why, see if they can give you feedback.
I just thought of the thing.
Go on.
The thing that I forgot is, in my mind, submit nothing without running it by someone you trust who has had talks submitted. Yeah. Sense check. Don't make your first person you share it with me on the review board or the others. Find somebody in your vicinity. Us in this community, we love helping people out with this stuff. It's fascinating for the person helping.
100%. I mean, I run 4 events that we run CFPs for. So realistically, I'm reviewing 500 CFPs maybe every year. And I can instantly look at something and go, that doesn't work. That didn't come across clearly. You didn't explain your idea well enough. And we can talk about it. My Twitter DM is always open if someone wants to run an idea past me. You can email me if people have my email. Or get hold of me anyway.
He's got nothing but time.
I'll always try and make an effort to help someone if I can.
Of course you do, but you don't scale. Like you have to give other people.
Yeah. Indeed.
Meet up
organisers as well, I'd say. Talk to them because they're also selecting talks and speakers, and they know what their attendees want to see. So reach out to your local meetup organizer, get feedback there. If you don't have anyone else, you can ask.
And they might snaffle you in the meantime and say, come speak with us. So
which is great. Practice as well.
Yeah. This is what we want. Yeah. So
awesome. So hopefully that gives an idea of kind of how I would have at least tackled the Codegarden CFP or the Umbraco Spark CFP. Again, deadlines both next week, and the links are both down below. So get your thinking caps on, get submitting. Don't leave it to the to the 11th hour. I remember Ilham once sent me a screenshot of 11:59 p.m. She's like, "You were cutting it a bit close there, Callum."
Yeah.
And the backstory of that is I was in Australia at the time, and I'd been out, and we'd kind of been delayed somewhere, and I got back to the hotel literally 5 minutes before, and I'd had it open, as you do, for ages, been writing it, working on it, refining it, and hadn't actually submitted it. So it was kind of a little bit of a mad panic going, oh no, I've got to submit that in 5 minutes. So get on the hotel Wi-Fi. Don't do what I did. You can
do that. Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully that gives people some inspiration, but ask for advice, of course, from people. Okay, enough about Codegarden. I was just going to go through some other little topics quickly, if that's okay.
Brilliant.
We had a new community team. This one is the commerce team, and it was launched this week or last week, and it's a good, different bunch of people. Not necessarily the people I was actually expecting to be on the team necessarily. Yeah, really awesome people with a lot of experience doing commerce solutions in various different ways, and for in some cases a very long time. Like I know Steve, for example, their whole agency is based around e-commerce solutions, pretty much. So yeah, this is fantastic to see, and yeah, this meme.
The memes do it for me.
Yeah, I really liked this. This should become more of a thing. The next thing I had on my list was UProfile, and I was going to say let's get more memes in UProfile. Get a favorite meme or something.
Okay, is Lucy Brailsford watching? More memes in UProfile.
Yeah, hope she is. But Jack Chamberlain was featured as the UProfile for this month in January. Jack's awesome. If you don't know Jack, he was last year at Codegarden. Jack was helping people out with power bank because he had power banks on him, and he was helping charge people's phones. He's just a genuinely lovely guy. I met him at Codegarden a few years ago. He's great. So yeah, go read about Jack. Go hear a little bit about the kinds of things he's been up to lately. Oh, he came on umbraCoffee. I remember that. Yeah, that was the UK together, and his puppy's so cute. So cute. Very cute.
Pet pics. Very encouraged.
Nugget. No, more pet pics as well, please, Lucy. We love pets.
She's on the memes.
Good.
Comment. Yeah.
And then the final thing was, I thought this was coming out next week, but it's actually out already. Umbraco 13.1 is out and includes, I'm not quite sure, some improvements to tiny MCEs and bug fixes, and I guess ultimately we're waiting for 14 at this point, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's going to be the next big milestone. So go upgrade if you want to. It's an LTS release, of course, so you can be rest assured that it will be supported for a long, long time to come. 2026, I think, is the
something like that. Yep.
Yeah. And there's a whole bunch of community packages that were released on the marketplace. Cogworks have released their Cogflare package. A Cloudflare integration. Yeah, Cloudflare integration with with CMS, so you can purge and publish pages and content, which is really cool. There was previous plugins for this for like Umbraco 8 and 7, and this has been missing. We were actually about to look at building one of these, so it's quite helpful. Of course, lots of updates as well to some other things. Ken's been busy doing his headless packages. We've got Lee releasing. Oh no, Lee hasn't released any versions of contentment. I need to raise an issue with Lee, and that might upset him.
Do it here live.
Yeah, lots of updates. Dean was telling me about some updates on Bootstrap. He's released a new version of that. It's been in beta a little while, but it's for Umbraco 13. And translation manager updates, the kind of usual suspects we'd expect, but lots of exciting things. Any new packages we should be aware of recently added, other than the Cogflare one and the Ken's packages? I guess people had some time off over Christmas.
In fact, the community activity halves in December December is 2 weeks long. Yeah.
You've got your and January is kind of halved as well, isn't it? You've got your what's it called? It begins with an O. I want to say onion,
Orbit.
but it's not. Orbit.
Onion. Yeah, the orbit rings around the community, so we can see what's happening. Yeah.
Yes.
See how busy people are. There's stuff we find hard to measure or we forget to measure, but. And what I like is that the numbers tend to correlate with my vibe or gut feeling. So
yes, Lottie said again, Lottie won't mind me, I'm sure Lottie won't mind me saying this, but she said she was very disappointed to learn when she joined HQ. She went to the Orbit tool and searched her name, and she's not the top contributing woman in the community. Not that it's a competition or a leaderboard, but she was very interested to see some of the stats, and actually it highlights people that are doing stuff completely unknown that you didn't necessarily know was a thing. So
we're currently looking at MVP applications and people in the ecosystem, because the deadline to nominate is on the 1st of March and the deadline to fill in your applications on the 9th of March. So we spent some of this week looking at all the people around and what they've been up to, and we looked at our dashboard in Orbit, which is a community management tool that measures activity, and it surfaced at least one person who's in our top 10 contributors who none of us could think of off the top of our head.
Really? Wow. Wow. That's
because all the work they do is in the forum and in all these places on GitHub that maybe you wouldn't always see, or one of us might see some of it. And so it's a really good amalgamation tool for that. Who knew?
Fantastic. Yeah, I didn't know that. I'll make sure there's a link down below for the MVP submissions. I completely forgot that was still open.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Ages. If
I mean,
me,
it's
you do
not
it on midnight.
4 weeks. February's a tiny non-real month, isn't it? So
yeah, and the rest of the team will be mad at me for saying it's ages. It's not ages. It's just ages if you're like me or like Callum.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. There's people in the chat talking about this usync route thing. I don't know if I'm being pranked because I've never heard of this. Someone please tell me what it is. I've no idea, but Scott says it sounds cool, so I guess it's cool.
On the packages that you were just browsing through.
It must have been, but I just had a little look there and I couldn't see it, so I'm clearly missing something.
Callum, have you nominated anyone for MVP this year?
I've forgotten, Emma. Honestly, I've forgotten.
Okay. Well, if there's anyone you really like,
I will.
Yeah.
I'll put it on the to-do list.
1st of March. And the brilliant thing about nominating people is even if we've already got a nomination for them, we love reading what you say about them. And
yeah, it just helps bolster the application, doesn't it, for someone? So yeah, that's good. In the past, when we've had like the MVPs review the submissions and give comments, I've always made as much effort as I can to put in like a very detailed description, because it's kind of what you owe people that have maybe made a difference to you. Yeah,
for sure.
Fantastic. Cool. Well, I think that's everything I had to cover, at least. Emma, it's been a pleasure. Key actions: get your Codegarden tickets. Don't forget to submit to the Codegarden CFP. Don't forget to the Spark CFP. Submit to the Spark CFP. Don't forget to submit your Lightning talks. Don't forget to submit your MVP applications. Have I forgotten anything?
MVP nominations.
MVP nominations.
I think that's it.
Yeah, a lot going on. Well,
there's loads. It's an exciting time. Support your local meetups. Get to meetups.
Yeah, there's loads coming up. The Australian meetup's got one in Brisbane next week, I think, on the 29th. There's a Sydney one coming up. There's a London one coming up. There's Leeds ones all the time. There's a Manchester one coming up that looks awesome. Yeah,
I really want to get to a Leeds one. I love Leeds, so I really want to get to one. And a Bristol one, but I live in a different country now.
Yeah, yes, you do. Yeah. Fantastic. Happy Friday, everybody. Thanks for joining. We'll see you on umbraCoffee. When is the next one? That's a good question. On the 23rd of February. Oh no, I will be missing that one. Oh well.
We'll see you.
There is. You're going to that as well.
I'm going to be at it, and one in Copenhagen that I'll be at as well. Busy.
Cool. Join your meetups. Good to see everybody. Thank you, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.